Headphones on, the whispers begin.
Have you ever heard the story of a gladiator who was immortal? That would be incredible, wouldn't it? Well, I have to tell you that the protagonist of the following story might be. That's something you'll have to find out for yourself. The sun burned relentlessly over the vast expanse of sand, but the warmth it should have provided was strangely absent. The arena, a colossal coliseum of cracked stone and jagged iron, loomed around the gladiators like a sinister mouth waiting to swallow them whole. They stood, swords and spears in trembling hands, their breaths shallow and hearts thundering. The roars of the spectators reverberated through the arena, a guttural cacophony that felt unnatural, more like the howling of beasts than the cheers of men. Marcus tightened his grip on his sword, his knuckles white. The first wave of their opponent emerged, a grotesque beast that seemed cobbled together from nightmares. Its flesh was a patchwork of sinew and decay, its eyes empty sockets dripping with black ichor. The gladiators hesitated only a moment before surging forward. Blood sprayed as steel met malformed flesh, the stench of rot choking them as they fought. But the screams of the creature were not the only ones echoing. A deafening, otherworldly chorus erupted from the crowd. Marcus risked a glance upward, and what he saw nearly made him drop his weapon. The spectators were not human. Rows upon rows of twisted faces leered down at the carnage. Their skin hung in tatters, some charred black as if burned from the inside. Their eyes glowed an unnatural red, their mouths filled with jagged, mismatched teeth. Tongues flicked out like serpents, tasting the air thick with suffering. Their laughter was a sickening symphony of gurgles, growls, and shrieks. Marcus froze, his mind reeling. The realization hit like a hammer. This was not entertainment. It was a feast. The fight ended with the gladiators victorious, but there was no respite. As the beast lay twitching on the blood-soaked sand, the arena itself seemed to come alive. The ground shifted, groaning like a living thing. The air grew colder, and the oppressive weight of unseen eyes pressed down on the survivors. One by one, they were dragged back to the cells beneath the arena, their chains biting into their flesh. It was there, in the damp, stifling darkness, that the truth began to unravel. Titus, an older gladiator with scars that told of 100 battles, whispered to Marcus as they sat shivering in the gloom. "This isn't a trial of strength," Titus said, his voice trembling. "This place, it feeds on us. It eats our pain, our fear." Marcus wanted to dismiss him as mad, but the evidence was irrefutable. Every wound they sustained seemed to heal unnaturally fast, the pain lingering even after the flesh was restored. The fights were endless, each wave of monsters more horrific than the last. They never aged, never escaped. Their lives were an unending cycle of torment. And the spectators, those demonic entities, grew more grotesque with each fight, as if feeding on the suffering below. One night, when the arena above was silent, Marcus and a few others hatched a desperate plan. They would escape through the labyrinthine tunnels beneath the cells. But as they ventured deeper, the air grew heavier, the walls seemed to close in, and the darkness felt alive. They stumbled into a vast cavern lit by the eerie glow of molten rock. In the center was a massive altar, and atop it lay the remains of countless gladiators. The bodies were flayed open, their viscera arranged in grotesque patterns, their mouths locked in silent screams. "Do you see now?" Titus whispered, his eyes wide with terror. "We're not just prisoners, we're sacrifices." The realization was a death knell. As they turned to flee, the walls themselves seemed to shift, forming grotesque faces that leered and laughed. Hands, skeletal and clawed, emerged from the shadows, dragging the men back toward the altar. In the arena above, the crowd erupted in unholy glee as the gladiators were dragged out one by one, their bodies twisted and mutilated beyond recognition. Marcus was the last, his mind shattered. As he was thrown onto the sand, he saw his reflection in a shard of polished bone and realized he was changing. His flesh peeled away, revealing the glowing red eyes and jagged teeth of the demons that surrounded him. He screamed, but it was a guttural, animalistic roar that joined the others. The truth crushed him. He was becoming one of them. The arena roared in triumph as Marcus fell to his knees. The cycle was complete, and a new gladiator was already being prepared in the cells below. The eternal feast would never end.